So I'm getting this open here. Oh my God, we have a fish in here. The animal kingdom is no joke, guys.
My name is Taka, I'm a professional chef, and these are my $311 tempura ingredients.
I'm Gabi, I'm a home cook, and these are my $17 tempura ingredients.
No, not my eel.
I believe in you.
Okay, I can work with this.
Ooh! Oh my God, what?
So the tempura I was gonna make was going to be very special. I did have live scallops to shuck, stuffed with uni and topped with caviar.
And these are scallops for sure. I see all their little eyeballs staring at me right now.
I had a whole anago, or saltwater eel, that I was going to fillet.
How do you tempura an eel?
And some Japanese sweet potatoes, all lightly fried in a homemade tempura batter. And it was going to be served with Sancho, which is a Szechuan peppercorn salt, and a Tensuyu dipping sauce, made with kombu and katsuobushi, bonito flakes, and with grated daikon and ginger. It was going to be fantastic, and you took it away from me.
This is going to be a really legit challenge.
With Gabi's recipe, I have ingredients that you might find in your pantry or in your local grocer. These might seem like simple ingredients, but with a little bit of technique, we can really elevate this. If I had to guess, all these ingredients cost $17. Yeah? Yeah, see that? Professional.
Ooh, if I had to guess, $236. Wow. Oh, a lot of pressure. I have Chef Taka's recipe book here, and this is what I'm gonna be making today. Scallop uni with caviar, Sancho Salt eel. This is a really new experience for me. I mean, I've worked with seafood before, but I've never worked with eel. It'll be interesting to see how you would debone something that has like a snaky kind of bone. I have my work cut out for me, but I'm up for it. Let's do it.
Gabi, I know that you're an experienced home cook, but you're gonna be working with a live, fresh scallop.
And I swear I feel like I saw one move.
Personally, I love scallops. I love the sweetness, especially combined with the brininess of sea urchin. I think it's a great combination. My favorite tool actually to shuck scallops is to use a butter knife, releasing the main flesh from the shell.
It just feels like science class. It's kind of fun.
Then we're gonna use our hand to release all the skirt around the main meat.
And voila!
You can go ahead and rinse the scallops under cold water.
All right, my scallops are shucked.
So what I'm gonna do is make one cohesive dish.
My tempura was going to be a basic battered shrimp with veggies and soy fish sauce.
I'm gonna do something a little bit different. The dish I'm gonna make is a shrimp and eggplant hasami-age. The hasami portion means to sandwich something together, and age means to fry. So what we're essentially going to be doing here is turning the eggplants into buns and the shrimp into the patty and making a giant eggplant and shrimp hasami-age tempura. All I'm doing here is scoring it, not cutting all the way through to the bottom. Scoring it and salting it before, allowing the moisture to come out, is really going to help to maintain crispiness after frying.
My scallops are shucked and now I'm gonna season them. Next up, I got to butterfly my scallops and add in a little piece of uni. I'm very excited about this. I believe uni is a part of a sea urchin.
Uni is the gonads of the sea urchin.
Great.
It might sound a little strange, but they're fantastic and is a great luxury item.
Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is butterfly my seasoned scallops.
When we say butterfly, what we're trying to achieve here is to cut the scallop in half, but not cut it all the way through.
And now I'm just gonna go in and get a piece of uni and we'll put it in. Whoa. Okay, and so now I'm just going to add a little bit more seasoning. So my scallop uni is all prepped and ready to go.
What I'm gonna be doing next is making the patty for our hasami-age. First step I'm gonna do right now is to cut the white onion that will be incorporated into our patty.
I have an eel. Is it a specific kind of eel?
I sent Gabi some anago, which is ocean eel. Beautiful white flesh meat, and when tempura, it becomes very soft and flaky. So Gabi, just a heads up, filleting eel is not an easy task for even professional chefs. So be patient. Our goal here is to make sure that we remove as much meat from the bones as possible and keep the fish whole and intact. The technique that we use here is very awkward and different from filleting other types of fish.
So I have my Thor mallet and I have my spike.
We will be sticking a spike through the anago into the cutting board.
This is new. This is gonna be different. All right. Having a moment. This is for the purposes of education. So here we go.
The next step, we're gonna take this unagi spike and we're actually gonna pierce it through the eyes, and we're gonna forcefully put it into the corner of your cutting board.
Eyeballs are weird to me, so Chef Taka, this one's for you.
There's actually a cut behind the back of the head where you can stick the tip of your knife in and start to fillet. And so you can see in the stomach cavity, it has the liver and the guts. You can just kind of tear it out.
Okay, so now I've cleaned out the internal organs. My focus is going to be on getting out the spine. It doesn't feel like it has any of the small bones that a fish typically does. Trim this part off. I'm gonna trim off the tail, and my eel is filleted.
Congratulations, you've filleted your first eel.
This, in order to absorb the salt and the seasoning, has to rest for an hour.
Next step here is to now prep the shrimp. For this recipe specifically, I'm gonna chop it as fine as I can to get a real nice smooth paste. So you can see how they're starting to kind of stick to each other, and this is what we're really looking for. Now that we have all the shrimp chopped up, I'm gonna start making the patty. First, I'm gonna incorporate the white onions that we chopped earlier, and then I'm just gonna season this with a little bit of fish sauce and soy sauce. Just for this portion, we're just gonna add just a tiny amount of flour, and all the ingredients are binding together, and so it looks pretty good to me. So Gabi gave me some beautiful carrots. So what I'm gonna do here is, it's actually a knife technique called katsuramuki. This is where we take the knife and we're gonna carve around any kind of cylindrical object. So I'm just gonna turn this into juliennes. And then from there, I'm gonna turn these into small little cubes. So now that we have all these cubes, we're gonna go ahead and mix this into the shrimp patty mix as well. Make the actual hasamiage. And we're just gonna dust a very, very light layer of flour here. This is really gonna help make sure that the patty stays connected to the eggplant bun. We're gonna go ahead and fill our hasamiage with this shrimp patty. No waste, no waste. And then we're gonna just make sure that this is all kind of together and tight. So now that the hasamiage is all prepped and ready, we're just gonna set this aside until we're ready to fry.
So now I'm going to be making my Sancho salt, equal parts salt and Sancho.
Sancho is a type of Szechuan peppercorn. It has a very aromatic citrusy smell to it, but on the tongue it actually causes a numbing sensation and peppery flavor.
Sancho salt is done. I guess this is going to be served alongside the eel.
Gabi has given me some of these beautiful button mushrooms here. What I'm gonna turn these into is actually a mushroom salt, but it has a little bit extra depth and a little bit more umami than your normal salt. I'm just gonna go and just chop these down as fast as I can, essentially. So turning on a little jet speed to get through all these mushrooms. And we're done. And so now that we have all these sliced mushrooms, we're gonna go ahead and mix this with kosher salt. And basically the salt is gonna help with the dehydration process. We're just gonna go put this into a 200-degree oven until they're completely dry and crispy. So the mushrooms are out of the oven, and we're really looking for a nice crispy kind of mushroom chip is what we're looking for. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in my food processor, and we're gonna go ahead and pulse this until this gets all the way into a fine powder. Okay? Yeah, just mushroom dust. Smells great. It actually has this like chocolate aroma. Great, it looks like we got this mushroom down into a fine powder, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this into this bowl and add salt to this to adjust the salinity. After we fry our hasamiage, we're gonna use this mushroom salt to season it after it comes out from the fryer. So I sent Gabi some Japanese sweet potato. This one is called satsuma imo.
I'm just gonna go ahead and slice this into little rings. Sweet potato is prepped nicely. I'm gonna salt it. Everything is kind of gonna be as dry as possible. This is gonna go into the fridge for 15 minutes. We are one step closer to the perfect tempura. So with the remainder carrots, I would be turning this into a shiozuke pickle. Shiozuke really just translates to using salt to pickle. So I'm gonna go first and take this carrot and slice this very thinly, and then I'm gonna put this into this mason jar. I'm gonna take this lemon, remove the zest, and turn that into very fine julienne. Add that to the mason jar as well, and then we're gonna go ahead and make our saltwater pickle. And this is a little bit different from maybe what you were thinking about a pickle. There's no acid in this recipe. This is really just water and salt. And then once this water comes to a boil, incorporate this into the carrots and the lemon zest, and let that sit until it's cool. Now I'm gonna start making my tensuyu, which is my dipping sauce. What's really important to make a tensuyu is starting with the great dashi. Dashi is essentially the Japanese word for a stock, and the dashi is relatively simple. It's gonna be water, the kombu, and we're gonna really let that steep on a low heat. So it's just coming to a simmer now. So any second I'm gonna just turn it off and let it steep for an hour.
and that's gonna really help to draw out the flavor from the kombu.
So I have my kombu that's been steeping for an hour. Now I'm going to bring it back up to a boil. So now it's time to add in my bonito flakes.
It really doesn't take much time at all to really draw out the flavor. About 30 seconds to a minute. Then once that time has elapsed, we can go ahead and strain all the ingredients and we'd be left with a beautiful katsuo dashi.
Now I'm going to add in about a cup of soy and a cup of mirin. Mirin is a cooking wine. I have my Tensuyu dipping sauce ready.
Gabi's not just making a tensuyu, but she'll also be adding grated ginger and grated daikon radish to really heighten the sauce.
I specifically really love daikon. I feel like it has that nice like spiciness to it.
Gabi is going to be using an oroshigane. This is actually the tool used to grate radishes down into a smooth consistency.
Oroshigani. Chef Taka can definitely help brush out my pronunciation on that.
Oroshigane.
This is cool. I've never used this. So it's not like a grater where it falls out the other side. It's just grating it in one place.
We're going to go ahead and place the grated radish into a strainer. Set this aside so that excess water will be removed from that radish.
Next up is my ginger.
Ginger is there really to help balance out the sweetness that is inside the tensuyu itself.
Okay, take two with the
Oroshigane. And once she's finished grating the ginger, we're gonna then put it on a cutting board and chop to make sure that any of the ginger fibers are all smoothed down as well.
And now I have my grated daikon and I have my grated ginger for my tensuyu.
Gabi gave me these eggs and she also gave me these onions, and so I'm gonna be combining them together to make a onion aioli. I love the idea of aiolis with fried foods. They work really well together. I'm just gonna turn this on the high heat, get this to boil. So it's been about 15 minutes or so. You can see that the onions are nice and soft. And from this next step here, we're gonna strain all the liquid out, and then from here we're going to puree this into an onion puree. There's no more large chunks of onion, and this is exactly what we're looking for. Next step is we're actually going to be making the aioli itself, and so essentially this is a type of mayonnaise, is an aioli. We're going to break the egg yolk, incorporate the oil slowly. The big thing that we're trying to avoid is what we call separation or breaking of this aioli. You can see it's setting up nicely. And that's what we want to look for. Yeah. So now that we have our aioli set here, we're going to use salt, a little bit of fish sauce. We're going to bring acid from the lemons, and then we're going to bring some sweetness in from the onion puree. And at the end, we're going to add some lemon zest to really heighten and brighten the aioli.
Last step for my tensuyu is to combine everything. So I have my dashi broth with mirin and soy, the daikon. So I'm going to do a generous pinch of ginger. I think Chef Taka's going to like it a lot.
Now it's time to focus on the batter.
From my understanding, is kind of like the crux of tempura, right?
All the other ingredients can be fantastic, but at the end, if the batter is not right, you do not have good tempura.
The difference from Chef Taka's recipe and mine is that he's got the fancy bubbly water. I did not have the fancy bubbly water.
And so essentially what I'm doing is taking regular water and turning it into soda water. It's totally normal to use just regular water for the tempura batter, but having this carbonated water, it goes extra step and ensuring that your tempura will come out crispy. So tempura is all about reducing the gluten formation. There's multiple ways in which we want to reduce the gluten. One of the best ways is to make sure that we're using a flour with low gluten to begin with. I have a lot of challenges here because I have all-purpose flour, which is not a low gluten flour. Other steps that we can take is carbonation of the water, making sure the water is cold, and adding other ingredients to the actual flour itself. Introduction of egg is also another way of reducing the amount of water that's going into the actual total batter, reducing gluten, but also increasing protein content, which is going to help maintain some of the crispiness.
Sparkling water and egg mixture ready.
And next step would be to add the flour to our bowl.
My pastry flour, weigh this out. This is when you know you're doing this for a chef, it's when you bring out the food scale. Chef Taka, did you use a food scale?
Just eyeballing here.
You eyeballed it. Wow, true pro. Onto my potato starch. Get this into here.
And I'm just gonna pour in the egg water until it kind of reaches the right consistency. And I think I'm gonna be looking for a slightly looser batter than I normally would because of all the kind of challenges that I have with the ingredients that I'm carrying today.
I think I want to keep it a little bit clumpy.
And you can still see there's still lumps of flour in there. And I think that we're pretty good here. The tempura batter looks ready to me.
Before we batter everything, we gotta dredge it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get dredging. Going in with the pastry flour, making sure everything's really thoroughly covered. I'm just gonna give everything a nice coating. It's gonna help my batter stick. All of my tempura ingredients are dredged and they're ready for batter.
All right, it's time to fry.
So this oil is a blend of sesame oil and vegetable oil.
So I have a Dutch oven here filled with just regular vegetable oil, and I'm gonna coat the entire thing in this flour all the way around. This is to remove the excess moisture. This is really gonna help for the tempura batter to adhere to the surface of it.
First step, I'm gonna take my sweet potato, I'm gonna coat it in the batter.
And gently and carefully, I'm gonna put it into the oil.
And do that for all of them. All right, so just a little salt. I'm gonna try a fun technique just to try and get it a little bit more crunchy, a little crispy. I'm gonna take some of my batter and throw it right on.
Crispy bits adds more texture to the top surface. It's gonna help to remain crispy even if that initial layer is not as crispy. I'm expecting this to take about 8 minutes or so.
And cook this for about 3 minutes.
So I think that we're ready to take this out of the oil.
And voila.
And we're gonna season this with the mushroom salt right when it gets out.
A little Salt Bae action. Okay, so I'm just removing some of the bits because I don't want any burnt crispies.
We're just gonna let this sit until it's cool to the touch, and then we'll be ready to plate.
And now the scallops. Whoop, dropped it a little. Wow, they look great. I can't believe they stay together. Done.
So I'm gonna go ahead and tape this onto my cutting board, and I'm gonna give this a cut in half just to see where we're at. And it's looking nice and cooked all the way through the center. It smells fantastic too.
I'm gonna do maybe like something that's a little bit to the cascading effect. So feeling good about that. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these just down the middle. I'm going to kind of, okay, that's looking good. We'll start with that.
Have this right here.
My beautiful eel, my Sancho Salt.
I like to have my sauce right in front so I can get as much as possible here. And I'm gonna put the pickles right in front just to create a little bit of balance on the plate.
Going with the caviar.
So Gabi's gonna be adding some beautiful Ossetro caviar. Since we're not using any sauce for this specific scallop dish, it's a great addition to bring some more salinity and flavor to the dish.
Going in with the crispies.
This is the shrimp and eggplant hasamiyage, onion aioli, carrot shozuke. I hope that Gabi likes it, and I can't wait to see what she did with the other ingredients.
And this is my take on Chef Taka's tempura.
Hey!
Wow, love it.
Hi! Nice to finally meet you.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I've been with you all day.
I feel like I've been telling you what to do all day long too.
Whoa!
Whoa, no way. No, honestly, this is crazy.
I was like, I can't believe I'm making like a uni scallop sandwich. But you did that with the shrimp and the eggplant.
Yeah, turn the whole thing into a giant burger, what it looks like.
Whoa!
Yeah. This is really, wow. This has a lot of finesse here. I love the addition of the crunchies on the plate. This plate looks far better than this plate.
I mean, when you're working with caviar, it's like not that hard. How do I approach this?
I would approach this just like you would do a sandwich. So we're gonna take the piece, we're gonna get a little dunk into the sauce.
Cheers. Oh my God, the shrimp burger is so good.
It's nice and juicy. It came out well.
I'm truly shocked. And oh my God, the aioli is so good. I really want to see what you think about my dish.
I'm so excited. I'm so impressed. The color is exactly the way it should be, not overly dark. Just like even touching it to the touch, it's got that nice crispness, it's firm. So I'm gonna go ahead and dive in with these scallops and the uni.
All right, I'll start there with you. Cheers. Okay.
That scallop is so fresh and so sweet. This would go well with the sauce too, so I'm actually gonna add a little saucy sauce too.
I almost flipped it there. The sauce.
That really
I love the sauce.
You know. I think that the katsuo, the smokiness from there, that's one of the hardest things to get right. I think one of the most impressive things on the plate here is the anago, this ocean eel. You know, it's hard for anybody to do.
Whew, all right.
So, you want to sprinkle the Sancho Salt on?
I love that. I love elegance. That's what I'm here for.
All right,
okay,
cheers.
Cheers. Nice.
This is exactly how it should be. You could sell this in a restaurant easily. I applaud you.
Thank you, chef. Now I know how to do one eel. I'm ready. Put me in, coach. I'm ready.